Hey everyone, welcome to Intuitive Vibes Narc Survival 101. It is your girl Erica here. Now you guys already know how it goes. To everyone who is new to the channel, this is your first time coming by the channel, seeing this video for the first time, stick around. You might hear some key points that you need to know pertaining to whatever your situation is. And if you like today's video, then go do some of my other content. If you find it to be helpful, hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so you're notified each time I put up a video, and be sure to join us every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our weekly lives. It's just a chance for everyone in the survivor community to come forward and talk about their experiences and help other people going through the motions themselves. And of course, to all of my existing subscribers, welcome back, you guys. The Female Narcissist / Sociopath Crash Course. Yes, guys, it has taken me a little while to create this video, to put this all together for you, because, I've been going through a lot of different phases in my life, but I am back at it again, and I am full force ready to help you guys get through whatever emotions you're getting through. Now, before we get started on the video, there are a few things that I do want to mention here, okay? Number one, you may or may not be dealing with a female narcissist. You may be dealing with a female who is extremely narcissistic, where she's not classified as a narc per se, but she has a lot of the qualities of a narcissist. If that is the case, you can still watch the video, because a lot of the different types of behaviors will resonate with you. Some of this stuff is also going to be pertaining to mothers, okay? Yes, mothers, whether it be your mother or someone you're dealing with. Now, mothers may be a sensitive topic for some people. It could be either triggering, it could be, but that's my mom, what are you talking about? And, I don't really think it's a good idea to talk about someone's mom like that. Let me explain something to you. First of all, I'm a mother myself. But secondly, this channel is a no-holds-barred channel, which means I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, okay? The truth does not always come in a candy shell, and I need everyone to understand that. Whether it be your mom, your sister, your daughter, your niece, your girlfriend, your wife, whomever, I do not hold prejudice against anyone. I will not treat one better than the other, and I will not say, well, there's a possibility, or, give you any kind of inkling of an idea that the behaviors, whether they be your mother or not, are acceptable. We don't enforce that here. I don't encourage it here. And if you're looking for that, then this definitely is not the channel for you. And lastly, I will try to refrain from using explicit language. When I delve more into the female narcissist, I've done a lot of studies about the female narcissist. I've learned about the behavioral patterns, you name it. I tend to get a little bit emotional about it because I'm the total opposite of these types of females. So it really does hits close to home for me. I will try to refrain from using any type of explicit language. I can't promise you anything, but I'll try my best to do so. So just so as long as we understand that this type of video is not going to be the kind of video where it's, sweet and just a little bit tangy. No, it's going to be pretty much, this is the deal, this is how they are, this is how it is, and you have to come into a level of acceptance and understanding and decide what you want to do from this point on. So with that being said, guys, let's just get started. Now, because this is a crash course, I've decided to break down certain subjects into 3 parts. We're going to talk about the female narcissist / sociopath girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or wife. We're going to talk about the female narcissist / sociopath friend, and the female narc / sociopath mother. Now, the reason I'm breaking these 3 down is because you each have your own situations that you're dealing with, and you have certain types of people in your life that fall under these certain categories. But you know the difference between your wife and your mother. You have a romantic relationship with your wife. You have a familial relationship with your mother. At the end of the day, you pick which one you want to watch. Now, if you're dealing with all 3, it's best to watch the entire video. If you're not, go to the part that reflects more on your situation. And after the crash course, I will be answering some questions that were submitted to me. Now, each part will be timestamped in the comment section below, so you can go to whichever part you want to go to. If you want to watch the whole video, kudos. But if not, you can go to that part. Now, before we get into the actual crash course itself, we have to do a prelude. And a prelude is pretty much a beginning of a story. So it's pretty much going to be a summarization of the female narcissist / sociopath. One of the things I want you to understand is that a sociopath, a female sociopath, is a female narcissist, only she's much higher on the spectrum. We're talking very dangerous, very malicious, possibly murderous, okay? That's what a female sociopath is. But most of you are probably dealing with a narcissist, a very diluted one at that. The sociopath, however, though it's very rare, you still can come across these types of females. Now, the summarization of a female narcissist is classified as a woman who is a person who has a highly inflated sense of self-importance. So it's pretty much my needs come before yours. My needs come before everyone else because I'm special, I'm important. And for a female narcissist, that means it doesn't matter when it comes to their family, their friends, their mates, or even their children. Female narcissists walk around with a very superior attitude. They elude that, trying to make other people feel inferior to them. And anyone who ever dares try to challenge them or try to interrupt what they're trying to gain out of a situation, whether it be financially, emotionally, materialistically, or sexually, they're in for a very, very rude awakening. Now, female narcissists fall under certain categories. You have main types and then you have subtypes. Now, the main types are the two main categories in which a female narcissist would fall under. You have covert female narcs and you have overt female narcs. Covert female narcs are the stealthy ones. Those are the ones who do everything behind the scenes, where they wear the fake mask in public so nobody can detect them, but yet in private, they're a totally different person. The overt female narcs are the ones that are very expressive. They're very noticeable. You can notice them in the streets. You can notice them in gatherings. You can notice them a mile away. The subtypes that you have are cerebral, which are the brainiac ones. They're the ones who like to use their intellect to try to emasculate people. You have the malignant ones, which are the very dark and devious ones. They're the ones who like to stir up a lot of trouble. Malignants are more the type that would try to really destroy your life, destroy your reputation, especially if they've had narcissistic injury inflicted on them. You also have somatic narcissists. The somatic female narcs are the high-end, high-priced living females. These are the ones that walk around with nothing but designer stuff on, and they're pretty much using people to gain some form of clout in life, whether it be to go on fancy vacations or just to look like they are important. But they're also very extremely superficial, which means that, yes, chances are you will catch them constantly trying to stay fit, maybe having plastic surgery, doing all types of alterations on themselves just to fit into the societal world of elite people. They're the ones who pretty much like to live the life that they can not afford at all. Now that you know the main types and subtypes, which you can catch them on my other videos, I've done plenty of videos on each type of narcissist and female narcissist, along with the female sociopath, very thoroughly. There are separate videos, you can catch those. Now you need to understand the behaviors of these types of females. These types of females are pretty much out for their own, whether it be utilizing manipulation against their husband or wife. We're respecting same-sex relationships as well, guys. Or if they're utilizing manipulation to get over on their children. Each female narcissist has the same endgame. It's to gain control in situations in people's lives and to maintain that control, to be at the top of the pyramid while everybody is down beneath them. They're extremely selfish and extremely self-absorbed, which means that if they don't get their way, they have a tendency to throw little pity parties for themselves. They're very good at playing the victim. So if at the end of the day you had decided to reject a female narcissist, whether it be advances or whether it be her using you yet again and you decided to put your foot down, you better believe that you will become a victim of either a smear campaign, you will become the victim of her and her flying monkeys, because she's managed to manipulate people in her surroundings to have them believe that she's really something or someone that she's not. You are the only person that has managed to see the female narcissist for who she truly is. And you being the victim, unfortunately, your voice doesn't get heard because these types of females are very good at manipulating situations. Now, whether you met her at a party with a group of friends or even on a dating website, there was something about this woman that intrigued you. She's attractive, maybe beautiful, possibly even exotic. She has a certain type of appeal to her that has really called you in. It really reeled you in. You notice that she does get attention from people of the opposite sex. Hell, maybe even the same sex. She gets a lot of attention, a lot of admiration, and a lot of adoration. And for some reason, you're the one who piqued her interest. Now, even though everybody else is showing her attention and giving her the time of day, she went for you. You then, probably at the beginning point, begin to believe to yourself, this girl is way out of my league. Why would she want to deal with me? Well, she just targeted her victim. Now, don't come gunning for me, okay? Because I'm not saying that you're unattractive. What I'm saying is that a lot of women, especially beautiful, exotic, women who are desired most, who get a lot of attention, a lot of affection, do tend to intimidate some men. It has happened before, guys. And even if it was for a split second that you sat there and thought to yourself, this chick is going for a dude like me, that's just a little bit of your insecurity that kicked in. But at the end of the day, you know you're an attractive person. You know you're a good-looking guy or girl. And guess what? You got her. You got her. She got you. And now it's nothing but bliss. The beginning stage, we all know how that goes, guys. It's the honeymoon stage. Sweet nothings, compliments, getting to know each other, laughing, having fun, all that goody, yummy, delicious type feelings. You're saying to yourself, this is great. I'm having a great time. I have a beautiful woman on my arms. We're getting to know each other. You even find yourself talking to her and she's listening to you. She's actually listening to you. She's listening to everything you say. She's taking into account everything that is you. You think she is intrigued by you. She wants to know more about you. She wants to be that little lamp in your bedroom of life. That's who she wants to be. The reality of it is, she's studying you. She's learning you. She's learning your ins, your outs. She's learning your fears. She's learning your insecurities. She's learning the different things that she can use to use against you when her time comes that she decides that she wants to have her control over you. A female narcissist, they have agendas. And their agenda is, get my needs met. See, everything that she was doing for you, putting you on the pedestal, making you feel like you the man or you the woman, making you feel like you are on cloud nine, all of that was to pretty much coax you. It was to butter you up. It was to get you to fall for her. See, we do nice things in the beginning of relationships. And hell, if we are genuine with ourselves and genuine with our relationships, we never skip a beat while we're in a relationship with someone. But a female narcissist does all of this to get you to your most vulnerable state. Because the minute you feel like you are floating on cloud nine and you're high in the sky, she is already going to pull you down from that. And that's where, for her, the real fun begins. Now, she knows that just being a good girlfriend and being a sweetheart and being that eye candy on your arm is not going to just be enough to get you to fall for her bullshit, to get you to fall into her web of manipulation. Oh, no, no, no. So what is she going to do, guys? Oh, that's right. She's going to utilize sex. She's going to utilize sex to really trap you in. And she's going to go hard at it. She's going to do any possible trick, maybe a trick that you never even heard of, just to get you stuck in there. See, sex has a way of really making people do some stupid shit, guys. And if you didn't know, now you do. A female narcissist knows how to utilize sex very well to keep you intrigued, to keep you going deeper and deeper. So you got a beautiful woman, she's putting you on cloud 9, every other dude wants her, and she's giving you that good. She knows what she's doing, guys. Now, you got the beautiful girlfriend, you got the great sex going on, and everything is going great, everything is looking good, right? Now you know you're in love. Now you know you got the best girlfriend ever. You are the luckiest person in the world. Little by little, over time, you start to notice certain things. You start to notice little things here and there. Those little things that you notice, but that you don't really pay attention to, you don't really talk about it, you don't really make a big deal out of it, those are called red flags. Those are little slips and cracks that is coming from underneath her mask. Because if you didn't know it by now, guys, that was what she was wearing. She was wearing a false mask. So all the I love yous, all the lovey-dovey shit, everything that she was doing for you, that was a mask. Now take note of this part, guys, because those little red flags that you ignored, those little red flags that you did not confront her on or you didn't speak up on, that is a very important key part. Keep that in mind when we get to the end of this section. Now, you're noticing things are starting to alter and shift a little bit, but not so much, because remember, she has to do things where it does not seem too noticeable. So now you're noticing changes, maybe changes in routine, or the way she speaks to you, or the way she doesn't do some of the things that she used to do when you guys first got together. This is all the transition for the female narcissist, because since she's already gotten you sprung, now it's time for her to get her way. So it's pretty much, I did all of this for you. Now, homie, you're going to do it for me. Now, in this transition, you're starting to notice, maybe you're not, maybe you don't really completely notice it, but in this transition, you will start to give her more. You'll start to contribute more. Most relationships go by 50-50, right? So you're noticing that you're going to be giving in 50, 60, 70, 80. You're giving an 80%. She's possibly doing 20. You're probably doing 90. She ain't even really pulling in her 10. And what she's doing is that she's pretty much flipping everything around. I did all of this stuff for you in the beginning. Now it's your turn to take care of me and be the man that I want you to be. Not the man I need you to be, the man I want you to be. I want you to praise me. I want you to admire me. I want you to give me all of your attention. I want you to supply me. I want you to do A, B, C, D, all the way up to Z for me. And I don't even have to give you squat. Well, Erica, how could someone do something like that? Well, guys, because she's your girl. You should be happy that a woman like her is embracing you with her presence. You should be happy that the woman that so many men want, so many men desire, that so many men would probably give their left nut to have her in their bed, in their arms, in their lives, that she's with you. So you should feel happy. You should feel special. You should feel special that she is giving you the time of day, that she did all that she did for you, even though it was in the beginning, even though she started slacking, she did everything for you, and you can't even give her a compliment. You can't even tell her that she's the best girlfriend in the world, or she's so special and she's so non-mediocre. You can't do any of that. And that's to the point where she gets bored. Before I jump ahead to the getting bored stage, because we already know how that goes, she's walking around with that sense of entitlement. I'm entitled to what you have. I'm entitled to what you earn. I'm entitled to your attention. I'm entitled to your affection. I'm entitled to everything. And you have no say-so in it, because if you don't do for me, she will make it very utterly clear in so many ways. What you won't do for me, I can get another man to do for me. So it's pretty much, I gave you the P, you need to give me what I need. Straight up. You have females who think like that, guys. And they think that because they have done these things for you, and because they were so sweet and so loving and so caring and so amorous in the beginning, that was enough. That was enough. It locked you in. And unfortunately, she was right. See, guys, what you got to understand is that everything, though it was utilized with manipulation, because she had you believing that she was who she pretended to be. That is manipulation. She had you believing that she was this kind of person who was loving and caring and meaningful and genuine. You fell for that. I'm not here to judge you or tell you that you were wrong, because anybody could have fallen for that. Unfortunately, you fell for that. And it's because you fell for that, she succeeded in gaining your vulnerability. She succeeded in manipulating you and your vulnerabilities. She succeeded in lying to you and hurting you in the process. So because you fell for it, she feels already on top. She feels like she is the winner. But anyone who utilizes manipulation is always going to be. That is, of course, until you come across people like me and I tell you like it is. So you don't have to fall for that shit. Because at the end of the day, people may utilize manipulation to gain your trust, to really be able to use things against you. But just as much as there are bad people in this world, guys, there are some good people. And that's what I'm here for. Nonetheless, she managed to do what she does. So in the midst of you are confused, you're trying your best, you are trying so hard to satisfy her, to please her, to make her feel on top of the world, to give her everything. She's taking, and yet she's still not satisfied. She's still not engaging the way she used to. In fact, now she's doing other things that she never really did before, and it's pissing you off. There are a lot of things that female narcissists do in relationships that piss a lot of their mates or their ex-mates off. Way too many for me to list, but I will give you a few of them. For example, let's say she wasn't really a person that went out as much before. And now all of a sudden she's going out more and more and more. And it doesn't really or necessarily include you. She's hanging out with her girlfriends. She's going to clubs. She's out late at night, coming home at different hours of the night. Or she's making plans to do things that don't include you. Plans to do things on occasions that would not include you. So let's say her birthday came up. Instead of you guys doing something special for her birthday, she decides to go and do something special for her birthday with other people. All the while she's leaving you out of the loop. She's pretty much, what's the word that we used back in the day? Flat leaving you. She's pretty much disrespecting you and doesn't even care. Or we go to the social media bit where there are different people of the opposite sex or same sex, depending on what your relationship is. And these people are openly flirting with her. And you find that to be highly disrespectful. You bring that to her attention. And she's pretty much telling you, oh, don't even worry about it. It's nothing. The thing of it is something, guys, because she's getting attention from both angles. She's getting attention from these admirers, and she's getting attention from you because it's affecting you. It's affecting your emotions. It's affecting how you feel. And it all revolves around her. This is the stage of when they are starting to get bored, and they've already come to the conclusion that they don't find this relationship to be a fit for them. So while you're sitting there still trying and you're still working on your relationship, this stage marks the beginning of her finding your replacement. And until she goes on the hunt and she finds someone that can replace you so they can supply her the way you did, she's going to play it off. So if you notice how you guys are having a very rocky type of dynamic between each other, she's still there, right? She's still hanging on to you. You're clearly still hanging on to her because you're trying to salvage the relationship. When you're in public, you go to outings, you go to parties, you go to gatherings, she is a completely different person. She's a lovey-dovey, arms around you, I love you, I this, I that, and we're such a happy couple, and we're all of this bullshit. And that's because she has to show everybody that, one, she has a hold on her relationship. She has everything under control. She's the best girlfriend. You guys are great. You guys are happy. And she's doing her part. She's playing her role as the good, sincere, genuine girlfriend. Yet, when you go home, it's a totally different story. Now, you first think, okay, maybe this can work. Okay, she's trying to work with me. She's showing me she loves me. She's showing me affection. She's showing me attention. And you're feeding into that. Little did you know, she's only doing that because she has to show this off to everybody else. When you get home, she's treating you like shit. She's emasculating you. She's making you feel less of a man or a woman. She's making you feel like dirt. She's making you feel like you can't please her. You can't do anything right. And every time you bring up something to her attention in regards to other people, and by other people, I mean either other men or other women, and she pulls out the greatest tool of all. Big old gaslighting and deflection. Oh, well, it's your insecurities. Maybe if you weren't such an insecure person and stop looking into things, you're reading into things too much. What are you talking about? Now, when a female narcissist is in that transition of replacing you for new supply, they're going to do everything and anything possible to keep you away from what it is that she has planned on the side, what it is she has going on, because she's already made it up in her mind what she's going to do. She just has to figure out how to execute it. And she can't have you meddling in that. So she keeps you separate from that. So any little thing that you are noticing that don't seem right, that doesn't sound right, 10 out of 10 times, that is the case. But of course, she's going to have you believing that you are crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop being insecure. Want to be with me anymore, then why not just say so and just get up and leave? Doesn't work that way for them. See, any kind of narcissist, what they're going to try to do is, before they go and they leap into something else, especially if they don't have any other kind of backup supply, they're going to hold on to the supply that they have. Now, in this case, for a female narcissist, it's a lot easier for a female narcissist to get an ample amount of supply because, let's face facts, guys, females know how to use what they have to get what they want. So don't be surprised if she kept you in the dark while she was trying to find someone else to replace you and find a backup supply behind that new supply, just if in case it didn't work out or just if in case she decided to end it with that. That's how they start their harems, where they have a bunch of people, men or women, that are willing to supply them, fulfill them in any way, shape, or form. Now, while a female narcissist is grooming her new supply, while she's still in a relationship with you, this is all kept separate, okay? Which means that 9 out of 10 times, she's also going to have some friends, some female friends that are going to back her up. They're going to back up her lies. They're going to back up her stories. They're going to back everything up because she's already manipulated these people, unless they're other co-narcs. She's manipulated these people to believe that you are the hazardous one. You're the unstable one. She needs to get away from you. She needs to get out of this dynamic with you. So she already has her friends believing that you are the one who's causing problems. You're the one who's bringing the relationship down. You're the one who's lying, who's manipulating, who's pretty much doing everything that she is doing. So clearly they're going to back her up if ever you were to question anyone. While she's grooming in this new supply, she's going to be breadcrumbing you. Now, the purpose of the breadcrumbing, and that's with any narcissist at that, is to keep you on them. It's to keep your mind on them. It's to keep you stuck on them. So if that new supply doesn't work out, if other supply that she's trying to get doesn't work out, at the end of the day, she can always come back to you. She can always run back to you, give you the sob tears and, oh, I love you and all that bullshit. So again, these people know what they're doing, guys. They already know how they're going to play this shit out if it does not go in their favor as far as new supply is concerned. She's holding on, let me rephrase that. She has you holding on, and the most you're holding on to is a very thin string. And all the while, she has you convinced, believing that she is what you need, but you're the one who is fucking things up. The reality is you are fucking things up. You're asking questions, as well you should be. You're trying to gain clarity, as well you should be. You are bringing things to their attention that is affecting you, as well you should be. And they are taking that as you're trying to fuck my shit up. You are acting out of character. This is not how you're supposed to be acting towards me. You're supposed to accept everything that I give you because I've already conditioned you throughout this entire relationship to accept what I have given you, to accept my behaviors, and to accept me as the person that I am, which is the person that I faked myself to be for you. So while you're in the midst of doing all of this, this is where things get very intense, because now that she's in the midst of trying to find your new supply, you're trying to gain clarity. It's kind of mixing in with things. And this is the point where she's starting to get pissed off. This is where narcissistic rage comes in. So now she's starting to lash at you. She's starting to get very disgustingly angry with you. She is spewing the most horrible shit that you've ever heard in your life. She's pushing you to your farthest limit. So let's just do a little recap. She tells you I love you. She tells you you're the best. She tells you you are the best relationship she ever had, and you guys have so much in common, and it's all lovey-dovey and all that bullshit. Then over time, things begin to change. She's trying to control. She's trying to do whatever she wants to do, and you can't say shit or do shit about it. Yet if you do it, she's going to bring it to your attention and be all up in your face about it, because what she does to you, you can't do to her. She gets bored with you because you're no longer playing along with her, and she tries to find your replacement, and now she's getting pissed at you for trying to gain some clarity over some shit that looks like bullshit. Looks like she's trying to bullshit you, and she's trying to lie to you and manipulate you and use you and try to make you feel like you're going crazy. All the while she's grooming someone else to take your place, to take your spot, when you could easily be getting over her and moving on to someone else who will treat you better, treat you with respect, and love you and care for you. She a trifling bitch. And I'm going to say it like that. I said I made no promises, guys. I made no promises when I said the explicit language. But females like that are trifling. And the reason you can't let go, even at that precise time, is because you are so embedded and you are so drenched with manipulation that it is such a confusion. It's just so confusing for you because your mind is not processing it. Your head is trying to get through to you, but your heart is blocking it because you love her, because you guys have so much history together, because you have done so many things together. It's hard to believe that this person who stands in front of you, this person who was emasculating you, this person who was lying to you, this person who was cheating on you, this person who was talking shit about you, this person who was making you feel less of a human being, your heart is having a very hard time processing the idea that this person actually exists, and the person that you fell in love with was nothing but a mere fucking illusion. And that's exactly what it was. She did not love you. She did not care about you. She did not want you for who you were. She wanted you for what she could get out of you. Evil exists, guys. And these types of people are the clear-cut example of what evil is. People tend to think that evil is all about darkness and rage and murder and all kinds of vile type stuff. It is, but you have people who come in the form of lights. What do I say? The devil comes in the form of light, and he comes to destroy you. That is exactly how these types of people are. This person you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, and hell, maybe some of you married this person and you ended up being with this person 10, 20, 30, 40 years until you finally realized, holy shit, this is not the person. You're not the person I thought you were, because they've managed to wear the mask so well. You have some who could do it way better than others, so well that they've managed to keep you in the loop for so long. And now you have the gut-wrenching discard stage. And the discard stage with any type of narcissist is very heart-wrenching. It's horrible. But dealing with the female narcissist, she goes one step ahead. She does everything based on whatever agenda she has in her head. And she can be very cruel, very vicious, and very cold. Male narcissists can do the same thing. But female narcissists, because they know they can get away with a lot, their discards are a lot more painful. Okay, so she has her new supply. She basically done trashed you and tied you up and threw you in the back of a garbage truck, because now her new supply is giving her everything. They're giving her attention. They're giving her affection. They're giving her money. They're, probably doing all kinds of other stuff that she is deflecting onto you, saying, well, you weren't man enough or woman enough. You couldn't handle me. I deserve the best. I deserve happiness. I deserve this. I deserve that. You're just mad. I don't want to be with you anymore. Get over it. Move on. Do what you do. Blah, 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 whatever. All the while, she's having other people think that you are the one who is the main problem in the situation. You're the one who had done everything possible to push her away. You're the one who's insecure. You're the one who's paranoid. You're the one who's always accusing her of things. You're the one who starts the arguments. You're the one who wants to control everything. It's all on you. You're the one who has all the blame. She could do no wrong. She did no wrong. She did the best she could. And look at what happened. Now she's with her new supply, and you're sitting there trying to mend your broken heart, and she doesn't give two shits about you. She does not care anything, whether you're left dead or alive, doesn't matter. And now you're sitting there trying to mend your broken heart, trying to figure out how the hell you're even going to get started on trying to release the pain, because it's pretty much a done deal. All the while she's in a new relationship. She's dealing with somebody else. She's online. They're posting pictures. She's finally happy. She finally met the one. She finally got out of the abusive, manipulative relationship that was filled with insecurity and paranoia and accusations, and she couldn't deal with it anymore. And everybody could not be more happy for her, because she had already convinced everybody before she did what she did to you that you were everything that she was to you, and you didn't know about it, because clearly this was done behind your back. This was done with everybody else in the outskirts, and you were the last to find out. And that, of course, was when that discard hit. Now, I know that the one most common question that people have is, because a female narcissist can be very arrogant, they can be very superficial, and they can be very haughty, do they try to come back? Do they try to hoover you back in? The answer to that question is absolutely. They do, especially if they know that they have damaged you so much, and they know that you haven't really let them go, especially given the amount of time. Because remember, guys, narcissistic discard, your healing time can take some time. So even if she was gone a couple of months and you're still not fully healed, and her new supply, her new harem wasn't doing it for her, she will try to hoover you back in, because she knows that part of you still loves her. She knows how to tug at your heartstrings. She knows how to fake the tears. She knows how to come around and say, hey, listen, I'm really sorry for how it ended between us. I love you. I'm sorry. Let's try again. And of course, she will use sex to try to get you back in. And some of you have already gone through that. Some of you, unfortunately, have succumbed to it, and unfortunately, it is normal, but a lot of you have realized what they're doing. A lot of you, especially those who are looking into these types of videos, you understand that's all it is. It's to get you right back into their web. And oftentimes they'll try to hoover you back in when you're in a new relationship, or when you're in the peak of your relationship, because they see that you're happy. They see that you're actually genuinely happy with someone else, someone who's the total opposite of them. And because you have sustained that happiness, which is something they can't do, that's a threat to them. I've dated someone with a narcissistic ex, and I'm going to tell you something. These females are, I call them the sideline hoes. These are the ones who sit in the cut on the sideline monitoring their exes, because when shit hits the fan, oh, they swoop right in. This applies for female sociopaths as well. same maneuvers, same thoughts, same agendas, only they're much higher on the spectrum. They're more devious. Female narcissists, they do things for attention. Female sociopaths, they do things for power. They will do everything that a female narcissist does and take it up about 10 notches, which means hurting their friends, hurting their family, hurting their mate. They do not care about anyone but themselves. And if you try to reject a female sociopath, she will work even harder to make your life a living hell. Anybody who comes across a female like this, narcissist or sociopath, or hell, even a psychopath, you need to stay away from them. Guys, this is the first part of the female narcissist girlfriend. Leave them bitches alone. Get away from them as fast and as far as you can. Female narcissist as a friend. Well, first and foremost, I don't have many female friends, okay? And that's all for a reason. I have very few female friends, and I keep it that way for quite the obvious reason. So if you don't have many female friends, you know what I'm referring to. Now, having a female narcissist as a friend can be very difficult as well. Because when you have a female narcissist as a friend, it's a very one-sided type of friendship. Okay, one thing you got to remember, your loyalty is to her. Her loyalty is also to her. Her loyalty is not to you. And if she does demonstrate a form of loyalty to you, it's all because she wants something in return, whatever that may be. Female narcissists as friends will utilize your friendship as a form of leverage for you to do things for her. One of the clear-cut examples of a one-sided friendship with a female narc is that she has unreasonable expectations of her friends. You know, they have to be there for her when she needs them. They have to be pretty much at her beck and call. So if she needs a form of admiration, adoration, attention, or whatever the case may be, they have to drop everything that they're doing and be there alongside her because she calls for it. However, if the friends had these same expectations from the female narc, you can best believe that will not be the case. The female narc is busy. The female narc doesn't have time. Oh, she has plans. She has things she needs to do, whatever the case may be. The female narc's needs, wants, and desires, much like in any relationship, is always what comes first. Anything else after that, she never really has time for them. Now, another characteristic trait that a female narc friend would have is she blames, she'll project, or she'll even guilt trip her friend. In this case, the female narc friend will project onto the friend that she's considered the target. She'll project on her negative characteristics. So if any time the female narc friend felt slighted, even though that was not the intention of the friend, she'll project all of her negative characteristics onto the friend, calling them needy, calling them unempathetic, calling them selfish and arrogant, and it's always about them. They don't care about anybody else. They don't care about anybody else's feelings, whatever the case may be. What she's doing is she's projecting her characteristics, the things that she knows that she possesses, onto the other friend. And she'll do this in front of other people, in front of a group of friends, trying to convince them that this friend is actually the narcissist. Ultimately, a female narc friend will turn something small, something minute, into something really big and make something really explosive out of it. And she'll spend her time trying to convince everybody else in the group that that friend, her targets, is the one who is ungrateful, who's selfish, and who basically doesn't take into consideration other people's feelings. Now, other people really have not felt this way about that friend, but a female narc friend will be so good at convincing other people that if you're the friend, you're the target, they will be so good at convincing other people that it's you who is the narky one, and they're the ones who are pretty much the victim in this circumstance, that a lot of people will probably turn to the female narc side because their performance, Oscar performance. Now, another characteristic that a narcissist has in general is jealousy. Okay, so in this case, a female narc friend can get easily jealous if your attention is taken off of them and put towards something or someone else. And this can include other friends, your family members, or even your own kids, work, whatever the case may be. Your attention, your admiration, your adoration has to be on them, especially if they're in your presence. So if you have like an emergency, or if one of your kids calls and you're talking to your child on the phone, you might notice a little snippet or a little change in their attitude because your attention is being taken off of them and being put to something or someone else. They don't care about if you got family, if you got other friends, or if someone from your job is calling. They pretty much want all the attention on them, no matter what the situation is. So if you're doing other activities with other people, or if you are basically not keeping the female narc friend in the loop, or again, if she's not gaining any kind of attention, this will trigger rage. And this will trigger her to pretty much push blame onto you. So whatever arguments that come about within this whole dynamic, within this whole scenario, of course, you would be the one who would be shifted the blame, because we know narcissists, they don't take blame for anything because they're never wrong. They're never wrong for how they feel of the situation, especially when they don't know the entire situation. The mere fact of the matter is, you took attention away from them. That's a big no-no in their eyes. So not only are they going to rage and lash out, but they're going to blame you for them raging, lashing out, and ultimately you guys having an argument. Now, if you have a friendship or had a friendship with a female narcissist, then you know that this type of friendship does come with this form of abusive cycle. So in this case, you know how most narcissists like to provoke arguments. They like to pretty much start shit that doesn't really need to be started. So with provoking an argument, while you're arguing with this female narc friend, they end up saying something really cruel, really hurtful and mean, to the point that it pushes you to just get up and leave. What this is this is verifying to the narcissist that you are willing to abandon them. And this actually pushes them into victim mode. So because you've abandoned them during an argument, mind you, you had every right to do so. This gives them ammunition to use against you at any given time because they've already fallen into that victim mode. So because they're sitting in the victim mode, they're basically pushing you to be the monster. Another manipulation tactic that a female narc friend would use is their threatening behavior, okay? So they'll threaten the friend or friends by either exposure, abandonment, or even rejection if the friend or friends don't do what the narcissist wants them to do. See, a lot of the time, narcissists pick people out because of a certain type of insecurity that is within that other person. So whatever your insecurities were, the narcissist already knew about it, and they're pretty much using that against you. They were using it against you to get what they wanted out of situations. In most cases, when a narcissist doesn't get what they want, of course, they go with the whole temper tantrum shit. Oh, well, remember what I told you guys before. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. That's how a narcissist is. They're very childish and very petty. And in this case, most people who have certain types of insecurities, they find themselves in dynamics longer with narcissists because you got to remember something, guys. When you befriended a narcissist, you shared a lot of things with them. You shared personal information, very deep-rooted insecurities, and very private stuff that you had within you because you trusted them. You trusted that they were going to be a good friend and they were going to be by your side and help you through anything. But the reality of it is that the reason a lot of people stay in the dynamics longer is because of those deep-rooted fears. Fear of exposure, fear of the smear campaign, fear of rejection, what have you. So because the narcissist pretty much held it over your head, and they held the fact that you have trusted them with your vulnerabilities, this is what kept the friendship going on longer. So every time if you decided, no, I don't think I'm going to do it, or I don't think it's right, that's when they would threaten you. A female narc friend is also what I would call a fence sitter. And by being a fence sitter, they're pretty much sitting on the fence. So let's say if you don't get along with someone else, or if you have, quarrels or issues with someone else, they sit on the fence between you and that other person. Okay, the reason they do this is because if you're not in line with her, or if you're not doing what you're supposed to do as her friend, she can easily go over to that other side, to the person that you don't like, and they can both go against you. So a lot of the time, female narc friends will be the type of people that would be like, oh, well, you know, that has nothing to do with me, and I really don't want to get in between that. I don't want to get in the mix of that because, you know, I don't really know what's going on. Bullshit. If she was really your friend and she really sympathized and empathized with you, she would understand that this other person is not on your side, and they're clearly, I'm not going to say enemy, I'm not going to say they're your enemy, but they're clearly someone you don't deal with for whatever your reasons are. She's supposed to be a true friend to you, especially if she's claiming that she is your good friend, that she has your back, and she's loyal to you. There's a reason why she's not just jumping to your side of the fence. Because at the end of the day, if she feels slighted by you, or if you're not complying with her on whatever it is she wants you to do within the dynamic of your friendship, then she can always team up with that person, especially since she knows plenty about you, and she can use what she knows about you with the person you don't get along with against you. So be very careful with people like this who sit on the fence between you and someone that you really don't get along with. They may be playing both sides. Now, another phrase that I can use to describe a female narc friend, and I hate saying friend because a female narc is not a friend. They're the total opposite of it. But another phrase I can use is hypocrite. They're very hypocritical. And by that, I'll give you an example. They could be sitting there with you talking about someone else. It could, clear as day, you see them pointing to the person and they're talking shit about the person. They're telling you all kinds of nonsense about that person, what they did, and blah, blah, blah. And they're just giving you this whole impression, I can't stand that person. That person is such a two-faced, and they're this and they're that, and blah, blah, blah. And you really see that the narc does not like the person. But then the next minute, they're out in public being chummy friends with each other. This is where the hypocrisy kicks in. My guess would be, and I'm just guessing, the female narc has managed to gain something out of that person, whether it be fame, clout, money, status, what have you. So the one minute they were talking shit about the person, they can't stand the person's a two-faced, the person is this, the person is that, and the next minute you see them walking out in the streets with them, you know, being all friends with them and everything. They're not being friends with the person. They just managed to get something out of that person, or they're working their magic to get something out of that person. And that person is unaware of even how the female narc was talking shit about them. Female narcs are very two-faced people. They use people, whether they like you or not, they use people to get what they want out of them. That is it, whether it be lovers, friends, or family. The bottom line is having a female narcissist as a friend is very one-sided, very manipulative, very unethical. They will use what they know about you because you've trusted them. They will use it against you if they feel that you are not in compliance with them. They will smear you. They will reveal your biggest, deepest, darkest secrets, whether it be to your friends, whether it be to your enemies, whether it be to your family. They will reveal everything about you, especially if you are not willing to comply with them. They are inherently jealous people, which means if you outshine them, they will do everything in their power to bring you down. They do not like the attention being taken off of them. They are the center of attention, and they either have friends, well, they pick and choose their friends based on if they feel these friends will be a threat or not, based on if these friends will be the ones who steal the attention, the spotlight off of them. Because if these types of people that they're picking as friends have any chance of stealing the spotlight off of them, they won't befriend them. But naturally, they won't know in the very beginning. So once they get to know you, and once they get to know what type of person you are, then they will put you in a certain type of category. But if they feel that you are a maximum threat, they will reject you. Straight up, they will reject you. If they feel that you're very minimal, they will put you in their group of friends, but they'll put you in the lower part. They will look at you like you're a bottom feeder. It's kind of sad to say it that way, but that's exactly how they look at you. And that's exactly how they look at things. And one more thing I'd like to mention. Female narcs, they have no shame. And by that I mean, they will stoop very low. They will stoop as low as sleeping with your friends, sleeping with your mate, or even messing around with someone that you had a crush on, someone that you were genuinely interested in. These types of people have no morals, they have no scruples, and they do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your feelings. Hell, they don't even care about themselves. This is why they have no shame in the things that they do. They can always make new friends. They can always have new victims. They can always have new targets. It's an ongoing thing for them. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you ever decide to become friends with a female, make sure you do your thorough investigation. Make sure you monitor properly all of the different types of functions within that person, within the dynamic. So guys, this is the portion for the female narc friend. And lastly, but most certainly not least, the Narc Mother. Now, I decided to leave this one last because this one is probably the most controversial one when it boils down to narcissism and female narcissism. Now, like I said earlier, I know this is a very controversial thing for people, but we still got to get it out there because in order for these female narcs to even be existent, it starts somewhere, right? It starts with mommy dearest. Now, believe it or not, narc fathers can also be and probably are the reason also why female narcissists are the way they are. But generally, a lot of female narcissists are due to their narcissist mothers. And I've done a video on daughters of the female narcissist mother. If you haven't checked it out, please be sure to check it out. So let's get into dear old mom. Now, we learn all the tricks and trades when it boils down to female narcissists. We learn that they do things for their own selfish gain. We learn that they manipulate people to gain control, to gain anything out of situations. It is no different from a narcissist mother. A narcissist mother utilizes manipulation to gain control, to maintain control, and to pretty much get anything she wants out of her children or other family members. Now, narcissist mothers are no exception to the rules. I'm not going to sit here and say that your 80-year-old narcissist mother is okay now. No, she's not. Because if she managed to be a narcissist till she's 80 years old, she had a lot more problems than any of us can imagine. Neither here nor there. Narcissist mothers are actually, in my opinion, probably the most dangerous forms of female narcissists. And it's all because they run with the narrative of mommy dearest. One of the reasons why it's easier for a narcissist mother to get away with so much stuff is because most people aren't going to go against their own mother, number one. Number two, a lot of what society has portrayed mothers to be, the maternal types, the maternal, emotional beings. Mom would never do that. Your mom would never hurt you. Your mom would never lie to you. Your mom wouldn't do any of these things. That is so fucking farthest from the truth. Because at the end of the day, if you have a narcissist mother, she is going to do any and everything possible to make sure that she is not kicked off of her throne. And by that means utilizing manipulation, creating codependency, and managing to keep you stuck in dynamics that you do not want to be in. Now, when it boils down to a narcissist mother, this is, of course, depending on if she does not abandon her child or her children. A lot of narcissist mothers in the beginning stage would abandon their kids. Frequently, it's because they feel that having a child will take away from their freedom. It'll take away from their lives, and they're just too unique and too special, and they deserve to have so much more in life than to be taking care of a child. Now, it does happen. It's not all the time, but it does happen. But if a narcissist mother should decide that she wants to keep her child or children, better believe she's going to utilize her children as tools. She's going to use them to do things for her, get what she wants, and nobody can say anything about it. These are my kids. I can say and do as I please, and no one can tell me what to do with them. Now, as with any relationship with a narcissist, there is no emotional attachment. Children are no exception to the rules. The children of a narcissist is not emotionally attached with the narcissist. The narcissist has created a barrier. There's a blockage there. They're basically just physically there as the parents. That is it. They will provide for the children materialistically, financially. They will give the children basically the basic necessities to take care of them, but they will not emotionally attach to the children, which is a very important stage of a child's life, is that emotional connection, that emotional attachment. But a narcissist parent is anything but. Now, when the children reach a certain age that the narcissists feel, you're able to fend for yourself, you're able to do things, you're able to do things that would supply me. This is where it would pretty much start for the narcissist parent, where they start using their children as servants, as tools, as whatever will give the narcissist what they want as far as a form of supply. Now, because they're not emotionally attached to the children, and clearly the children crave that emotional connection, the narcissist parent is rejecting the children emotionally. They're not rejecting them physically, but they're rejecting them emotionally. They're basically keeping that barrier in place, all while creating what I call transactional love. So basically, if the child does what the narcissist parent wants them to do, and the narcissist parent is pleased with the child and what they've done, they're going to give the child attention. They're going to give the child what the child will perceive as affection. And the child sees that the parent is satisfied. They're pretty much thinking that, well, mom is satisfied with what I've done. I've done something for mom and she's happy, and that makes me happy that she's happy, and she's giving me affection and she's giving me attention. They think that that is how love is given, and that's how love should be received. This is transactional love. This is conditional love. If you do for me, then I will give you attention. However, if the child does something that the parent is not satisfied with, then they're going to get the opposite effect, which is projection, lashings, beatings, maybe abusive behaviors. The child is going to see that if they don't comply with the narcissist mother, they're going to get the opposite of what it is that they truly wanted, which was the affection, the attention, and being put on a pedestal. So majority of the time, the children will try to comply with the mother. Now, if the child should try to make a request on their own without doing anything for the narcissist mother, this is where the narcissist mother is going to pretty much lash at the child. Well, what have you done to deserve this form of treatment? What have you done for me that I should do A, B, or C for you? Oh, you think you're special? You think you're better than everyone else? This is where the parent is instilling the guilt in the child, because the child hadn't done anything to earn her affection, to earn her love, or to earn her attention. So the child will also internalize that. This is where they internalize the form of rejection, because I have to do something in order to get something from you, when this should have been freely given to the child. And these children who grow up like this internalize this and either become codependent or they become narcissists themselves. Though there are many different types of female narcissists, they're all pretty generally the same when it boils down to their behaviors. Being a mother is no exception to the rule. So if the mother feels slighted by her children, or if she feels like the children are not complying with her or satisfying or fulfilling her needs, she will project, she will lash out, she will do things that will inherently put their children in the hot seat. A narcissist mother, much like any other female narcissist, is about her own selfish personal gain. And her children are not loving human beings, little human beings. They are objects. They are her property. She can use them however way she wants, and no one can tell her otherwise. But no one would tell her otherwise, because the majority of her abuse is covert. Yes, it's covert. Her psychological and her emotional abuse is mostly done in the privacy of her home, behind closed doors. Now, whether a mother has one child or several children, she has no quarrels with conditioning her child or children to work in her favor. And by that, she utilizes scapegoating. Now, if the child is non-compliant, naturally the mother's going to scapegoat the child. She's going to lash, she's going to project, and she's going to blame the child for everything that's going wrong in the dynamic in her life. But if the child is pleasing her, fulfilling her ego, she's going to put that child on a pedestal, therefore making him a golden child. She can do it with one child, she can do it with several kids. A lot of the time, it's more effective with several children, because if the child that she is scapegoating is not complying with her, she has her other children to fall on that will comply with her, because they see what she's doing to the scapegoat child. Whether the mother be emotionally, mentally, or even physically abusing the scapegoat child, she's using that child as an example to the other children what not to do. If you don't want to piss me off, if you do what I tell you to do and you comply with me and you basically submit to me and my needs and my wants, this won't be you. And this is why other children in the dynamic end up complying with the narcissist mother. Now, again, a narcissist mother can create another narcissist, or they can create codependence. So she's emotionally blocking them off. She is basically using them, and she's not fulfilling any of their needs. And it's on a case-by-case basis. It's based on, if you fulfill mine, then I might consider fulfilling yours. And this goes on over time. This goes on in the household up until their adult years. So the narcissist mother pretty much conditioned her children to believe that this type of behavior, this type of lifestyle is normal. She normalized all of this behavior up until the point where they are either extremely codependent on her, or if one of them is at least turned black sheep, is pretty much turned their back on her and said, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I said it, because trust me, I know plenty of people who have told their narcissist mothers to go fuck themselves. But at the end of the day, the ones who have completely complied with her are the ones that she will continue utilizing, continue manipulating, continue to twirl around in circles, making them feel guilty if they should ever decide to abandon her. She takes it as abandonment. So if her children or child should decide they want to have a life of their own, they want to get out there in the world and live independently, that would be slighting her. What are some of the examples of how this dynamic is with a narcissist mother? A narcissist mother has a clear-cut way of utilizing manipulation. She can pretty much do anything she wants and get away with it, at least in her eyes. See, not everybody's going to look at her as being the bad guy, because she's the mom. She takes care of everyone. She's the one who puts the roof over their heads. She does everything. She provides for them. But the fact of the matter is that she's utilizing her status as her primal role. She's utilizing her status as a way to defend herself and her manipulation. She can pretty much pin her kids against each other. So if she has a child that happens to be her target, or even another family member that happens to be her target, she can utilize her kids as her flying monkey to pretty much go against that other target. And she will manipulate her children to believe that her target is really the one threatening her. Now, another thing a narc mother would do is segregate. So she'll pretty much take the child or children who are scapegoats, who have not been compliant with her and her manipulation and have not been giving her her supply, and she'll make them feel inferior to the child or children who actually have been compliant, who are the golden child or the golden children, who've actually been filling the narc mother's supply. So for example, if the scapegoat child were to achieve something, anything, and the golden child had that very same achievement, the narc mother would acknowledge the golden child, but she won't acknowledge the scapegoat child. She won't give him a pat on the back or say, I'm proud of you, but she will do it for the child who has been fully compliant with her and fulfilling whatever egotistical, superficial needs the narc mother has. Someone on the outskirts would see this kind of behavior because a lot of it is done covertly. A lot of it is done within the family dynamic. Narc mothers are not stupid. They know when and where to act. They know how to say things. They know how to do things. Narc mothers have this tendency of embarrassing their children, hurting their children, lying to and on their children, and getting away with it. Everything they do is deniable. So if you are a child of a narc parent, and every time you try to confront the matter, every time you try to express how you felt about the matter, everything always had an answer. The narc parent always had a reason for doing what they did, and they always made it appear to be a very genuine reason, a very logical reason, a very plausible reason. The fact of the matter is, she was being a snake and no one knew. Not many people would want to believe that their mothers are capable of being like this, especially if they are codependent or if they are in fact a narcissist. People like this live in denial, and that's simply because they have not managed to break free from these types of dynamics. But if you don't believe me, the proof is in the pudding. A narcissist mother has so many different characteristics. She's a boundary twister. There are no boundaries. If you live in her house, you have no privacy. She can go through any of your things and you can't say anything about it. She lies in more ways than one. She has lied to you several times. Her stories have changed up several times, and yet she still denies it. And you can't call her a liar, because how dare you call your mother a liar? How dare you think that your mother would lie to you? Her favorite tool is gaslighting, because no one would suspect that mommy dearest is lying to anyone, that mommy dearest is using anyone, that she's stealing from anyone, that she's hurting anyone. And at the end of the day, if you were to confront her on something that you know she did purposely, she's going to make you out to be the one to look crazy. You're the one who's unstable. And not only is she going to do that, but she's going to pretty much gather up other family members to go against you, because she has already set the scene. She's set the scene with everyone else, because if you were her target, and if you ever caught her, or if you ever caught on to her bullshit, she already knows how. She already knows how to destroy you. She terrorizes. If there's anything a narc mother loves, is to hear herself talk. She loves to hear herself talk. She loves to feel superior, and she loves the idea, especially if you live with her and you can't really get out of that whole situation, she loves the idea of throwing everything in your face. You're in my house. I can say as I please. I can do as I please. I can treat you like shit because you have nowhere else to go. So you have no choice but to take my shit. She blames you. She blames you for everything that has gone wrong in her life. Well, if I didn't have you around, I'd have a life of my own. I'd have the life that I always wanted. But no, here you are. She's entitled. She's entitled to what you have. What's yours is hers. What's hers is hers. So at the end of the day, if you are supporting your narc mother, or if you are providing for your narc mother, to get that in return, not gonna happen. Oh, I don't have any money. Oh, I'm broke. I don't have any funds. And when you ask them, well, where is the money going? What are you doing with the money? How come you don't have any money? Well, who are you? Are you my father? Who are you to ask me what I'm doing with my money? You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. I'm your mother. I'm entitled to do as I please, and you don't question me on it. She's exploitative. She'll exploit her children or family members to gain some form of attention out of it, to gain something out of it. She has no quarrels with putting people out on Front Street, especially if it means that all of the attention, all of the positive attention, maybe even the negative attention, because she already has a scapegoat whom she can thwart that negative attention towards. So as long as she's in the spotlight, she doesn't care. She'll exploit her kids. She'll exploit her family. She'll exploit her friends. She does not care, because she always has a backup plan if in case something happens that is not in her favor. Maybe some of you have dealt with this type of mother. Maybe you haven't, but you have narc mothers who will purposely, who have a certain type of illness, sickness, what have you, will purposely not take care of themselves so their children, their caregivers, will continue taking care of them. This is how they're able to continuously have supply, continuously have control. They will purposely not take their meds. They will purposely hurt themselves to put themselves in the hospital. They'll purposely do things to keep their children bound, to keep them bound to them, to keep them taking care of them. The reason being, and it's kind of funny how most people would say, well, shouldn't you just get a husband, or shouldn't you just get, a boyfriend to be there with you and take care of you? What is it with your children? Well, Narc mothers, much like any other type of narcissist, cannot maintain or sustain personal relationships. So it'd be the same thing. It'd be the same as being in a relationship with a narcissist. They cannot sustain tangible, emotional, mentally healthy relationships. And because they've raised their children for so many years with the idea that this type of lifestyle is normal, they have a better chance of having what it is they want, getting what it is they want from their children, as opposed to having to go through different relationships and being with someone and breaking someone in, having to deal with the bullshit, and there's no guarantee that the person's even going to stick around for it, or they'll end up discarding the person and having to do it all over again. It's a lot easier for a narc mother to manipulate her own kids. Bottom line of it is that a narc mother is like any other female narcissist. The only difference is she's utilizing her mother card. She's utilizing the societal idea that mother is maternal, is emotional, is loving, is the caregiver, is the bread baker, the breakfast cooker, the dinner cooker, the homework helper, is the one who is completely and utterly there for her children, when the reality of it is it's the total opposite. But she is very adamant about giving that impression to the outside world for fear of being criticized, for fear of being judged. She will use her children to the best of her ability until probably the day she dies. The ball breaker of it all is that no matter what, no matter how much you try to go against the grain, no matter how much you try to tell people this is not how it is, this is actually how it is, psychological abuse, emotional abuse is not the kind of abuse that people can physically see. So as long as you continue trying, people will not believe, because of the fact that you respect your mother no matter what. You only have one mother. And at the end of the day, you have to take consideration towards the one person who is supposed to protect you, who is supposed to love you unconditionally, who is supposed to not lie to you, who is supposed to not steal from you, who is supposed to not betray you, not insult you, not belittle you, not criticize you, not hurt you. You are supposed to respect that person because you only get one. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much more to this. There is so much more to everything when it involves a narcissist, let alone a female narcissist. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put every possible link for every video that I have pertaining to a female narcissist, pertaining to the narcissist mother, pertaining to the abuse and the lies and the deceit and the signs and everything that you need to do to rid yourself of this. I'm going to put every link in the description box below so you can see the videos for yourself, because as much as this is a crash course, which is kind of zooming through, there is so much more to it and you deserve that much. So be sure to click on any of the links below so you can see whichever video it is that you need to see. Watch it as many times as you need to watch it. That's what it's there for. Hey everyone, so part of the video I did mention questions and answers because I had some viewers that have some questions and they just wanted them to be answered. So I'm going to ask them and answer them to the best of my ability. Now the first question is, how do I know if I was even the main boyfriend or not? If not, where did I rank in the harem? Well, you were probably the main supply for this person if they are in fact a narcissist. There's really no true fire way of knowing if you are a main person, because with these types of people, they're always, chumping around supply, whichever way they can get it. So at the end of the day, being the main person, you were probably their main source of supply, but I really couldn't even tell you if you were their main boyfriend. Where you stood in the harem, that would be very hard to tell. You were probably top notch, especially if she was giving you that much attention. Next question, does her kids know she has multiple boyfriends, relationships, especially her 16-year-old daughter? I'm pretty sure they do. Children are not stupid. They know. And in this case, if she is in fact a narcissist, she probably does not have any issues bringing that stuff around her kids. Especially her 16-year-old daughter, because narcissist mothers actually have this thing with their teenage daughters that it's like some form of competition in a way, and it sounds kind of crazy saying it that way. I don't know this person personally, but more than likely her children do know. They're not stupid. They do see what's going on, and she's normalizing that behavior as to where they're probably going to end up growing up doing the same things that they're learning. Is 16 months considered a long-term relationship with a narc? And is that a long-term for a normal relationship? 16 months for a normal relationship, I mean, that's considered to be, a good amount of time of being with someone. Is it considered a long-term relationship with a narc? Do you have people who have been in relationships with narcissists for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. 16 months is pretty much how long she was feeling fulfilled with your supply, okay? Because narcissists are known to become bored after a certain period of time, and it all depends on how they feel your supply is fulfilling them. So 16 months is pretty much the run that you had with this person and their thought on your supply. If I was just one of the side dudes, why would she have me around her kids and hanging out in her home? Narcissists do not care. They don't care. So whether she was just with you for a week or a day, at the end of the day, it's about her supply. So the safety and the environment for her children is not really a relevant factor for her, okay? And as much as I'm sure, you are a kind person because you know who you are and you're a sweet person, at the end of the day, she was not considering that. She was pretty much focused on having her cake, getting what she wants, and not caring about the relevancy of her environment or others' environment. So it really didn't matter to her if it was the first day or the first week. Did she use her kids to get me to drop my guard? If so, is that with everybody or certain types of people? My guess would be when people involve their children, oftentimes the other party looks at it as a form of, you trust me. You trust me, you're being vulnerable with me. Because if you bring your child around someone new in your life, that usually signifies that you're serious about the person and you feel comfortable and safe with the person. If this person is in fact a narcissist, she may have done that to bring down your guard, to get you to believe that she's trustworthy, you're trustworthy, this is something special, this is something that can happen. So it really didn't matter to her. This one's an interesting question. If I said I'd still do everything for her, the same as friends with benefits, why does she get offended and insist on calling me her boyfriend? She didn't have to lie. My homegirl says she knew I'm a great guy and she was afraid I'd meet a woman that would treat me better. This is standard with female narcissists, okay? Number one, she wanted the title of you being her boyfriend because she wanted to give you the impression that you were the only one, but she wanted the position of being your only one, even though she was lying to you and she was manipulating you and doing all kinds of other nonsense. She did not like the idea of you putting your attention somewhere else and actually finding someone better, someone who would treat you better, someone who would love you better, be there for you and respect you. So you having someone else would be a threat. All right, this will be the final question. It also drove me crazy that she barely talk or respond to me, but when I give up, why does she call me getting mad because I stopped calling and accuse me of cheating? Is she saying that's what she does when she's not calling? Narcissists are inherently paranoid people. And a lot of the time when they're accusing you of stuff, it's because they're the ones who are actually doing it. Now, am I saying she was cheating that time? I'm not saying that because I don't know if that was the case. What I can say is the reason she was getting mad was because your attention was not fully on her, whether it be positive or negative attention. So because you were not giving her the attention, you were not giving her the supply that she wanted on either end, she was assuming that someone else had your attention, and she was assuming that you were doing something with someone else, therefore accusing you of being a cheater. And the reality of it is that she was just pretty much mad because she wasn't getting your supply. Well, guys, this is so much for the crash course. I know that I did mark it with the female sociopath, and at the end of the day, a female sociopath is a female narcissist, just more devious, more hurtful, more of a bitchier bitch than a female narcissist. But I will put the female sociopath link in the description box below so you can see the video for yourself and you decipher what characteristics really resonate with you. But I did manage to zoom through this, and it was very, very trying because it started when it was daylight outside and now it's nighttime. So you can imagine how much I've been working on this video. But I do hope that it helped. I do hope that it helps you, and I hope that you really take a lot of different things into account. So just remember, I'm going to put all the links in the description box below so you can go to whichever video you need to go to. So again, I do hope this video helped. I do hope that this video resonated for you and that you know what to do from this point on. I do hope that a lot of you got the answers that you needed, and if you didn't get it in this particular video, there's plenty more below that you can get. Just go to the description box, you'll see the links there. All right, so guys, have a great week, have a great night, have a great everything. Okay, peace is priority. Always remember that. Love you all. I will be seeing you all on Tuesday, 8 p.m. for our live sessions. And as always, guys, namaste.